My name is Emmy Ballister, and I am a fashion designer and film costume designer. Fashion design is the process from going of the concept of garments to the completion of sewing garments. It's dreaming, drawing, thinking up creative new ways to make garments. And fashion design is also just the manifestation of culture in our society.
I think it's the costume of how we want to be read by other people, because it's our first communication to others, and so we're communicating who we are, and it's got to involve, part of that's going to be our style, so what we feel about ourselves, what we feel about others, what we believe in, what our values are, and so I think we just learn a lot through people's communication of their fashion or non-fashion.
To me, art is anything that exists not because it needs to, but because it can. So I feel like fashion is, taking something that we need, which is, clothing just to protect ourselves and to cover up our bodies, and making it into art and something that's maybe not necessary, but is awesome to look at, and it kind of adds to your life experience as like a person.
We're trying to anticipate what people want. What do people want to look like? What do people want to be identified as? And we're trying to always think of, what do people want next? What do people want next? A lot of people think that in fashion design, we're a bunch of just flamboyant, crazy designers who tell people what to wear. But in reality, in fashion design, it's the consumer. It's the person who tells the fashion designer what to design. You tell us what to do. I was born with fashion in me. It's something you can't really explain or describe, but it's just within you, and it's something that you have to do. I got into fashion design when I was in high school. I'm fortunate enough that my high school, I went to Foothill High School, we have a fashion design program there. So my junior year of high school, I took fashion design.
There's some kids who dress different to dress different, and there's some who dress different that have a gift for being creative, and you could just see that. You could see that her style that she portrayed was so in her, like it was just like oozing out her pores. So it was 2009, and she was coming into my beginning fashion class, and it was like she was a magnet to everyone. She just was so friendly, and everyone just loved her so much that she was fun to have in the class. And it wasn't like she had a chip on her shoulder. She just loved loving people. So it was made my job of teaching such a joy, because she was so interested in everything I was saying, because she wanted to apply it and she wanted to learn it and she wanted to move on to the next thing.
There's so many different aspects to it, that you can be a designer, you can be a pattern maker, you can be an illustration artist. And so I just had to come to the conclusion that I had to do fashion because I wouldn't be happy with myself. And I had to tell a lot of people, no, I'm not gonna do what you wanna do. I'm gonna do fashion design. And on a side note, Mrs. Farr has been one of the most important women in my life. She has been a role model to me. She's been like a mother to me. She is the perfect example of what a high school teacher should be. Someone who challenges, nurtures, and encourages students to be the best that they can be, and to follow and fall in love with a subject.
We just started a friendship. We just, she wanted to know the next thing. She always wanted to know how to do something, and she'd see something, she wanted to do it, she just wanted to know how to get it done.
In my senior year of high school, that was my grand moment to decide between what school am I going to go to. Am I really going to pursue fashion design? And I had a moment, the moment that changed my whole life. I was in my sewing room with Mrs. Farr, who was my fashion design teacher.
I knew she was so talented that we had to get her somewhere where she could grow that talent. And she said that, I asked her where she wanted to go to school, and she said, well, I could just afford going to a junior college, which was my situation when I was her age also.
Mrs. Farr had asked me what my plans were. what school did I want to go to? And I had to stop and realize that I wanted to go to the Art Institute of Orange County. But I was very set on having to go to a community college first, because private art schools are really expensive. For a bachelor's degree at the Art Institute, it's close to $100,000. And I just looked at Mrs. Farr and I said, I can't afford that. And she asked me, she looked me in the eye and she said, if money was no option, where do you want to go? And I told her, I want to go to the Art Institute of Orange County. And she said, well, then you're gonna go. And we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do about this money. So she told me about the Passion for Fashion scholarship competition through the Art Institute. And the competition was, you had to design a dress and submit it. And there was 2 levels to it. There was a regional level through the campus, the Orange County campus, and then if you won that, you got sent to nationals. So I had never done an evening gown before, but I was willing to try for the scholarship. I challenged myself and I put together a bias cut dress. I hand stitched the hem of that, which is a couture finishing. I did hand stitching beading on there. It was a beautiful dress. It was satin. I put so many hours into that. I had to write essays, I had to get letters of recommendations, and I submitted it and I waited. And I won first place. After I got my $3,000 scholarship, I also got my early acceptance to the Art Institute of Orange County, and I applied for the half tuition scholarship, which was pretty much the same as the Passion for Fashion scholarship. Design a garment, write a bunch of essays, get letters of recommendation, and submit it.
So she made some incredible garments. She went back to the drawing board and made this like amazing garment. Put it in for the half scholarship.
I made a beautiful dress and I went to the scholarship luncheon and I placed first and I got $47,000 for that one dress.
Go home and a decent time, 10 o'clock. Wait, I am so looking forward to 10. What's the humanity?
I have a lot of support at AI. I am quite the social butterfly. I'm really active on campus. Not only am I a part of Alpha Beta Gamma, but I'm also, I've served as a student ambassador, and I'm currently a student mentor for my program.
Emmy Ballister is our president. She was elected earlier this year, and we're very excited to have her in this office. She has truly taken the ball and run with it. She is enthusiastic, she plans ahead, and she is an outstanding leader.
Emmy seemed to already know everyone, and I figured she'd been there for like a year, and then I found out later on she'd only been there for 1 quarter, but she's just so charismatic that, you know, once you know somebody once, it's like she's known you for years and years and years. And I happened to be mentioning to our teacher that I couldn't get my hair to lay down flat that morning, and then I turned to Emmy and I say, you know, oh wow, your hair looks so awesome, like I think you look really nice, because I was like trying to get on her good side because I wanted to impress her because she seemed to know everybody. And she turned to me and she said, yeah, I think you could use some anti-frizz on yours. And she was trying to tell me, like, she was trying to help me out, but I took it the wrong way, of course. But Emmy always has really good advice like that, and like the second time I met her, she convinced me to change my major from fashion marketing to fashion design, which was probably one of the best decisions that I could have made, because fashion marketing was really wrong for me. I just didn't know it yet, and Emmy kind of knew better than I did in that sense, and that's why I'm a fashion designer now.
I think it'll be really one of the highlights of my teaching career to see where Emily goes. You know, she's I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but she's one of my favorites. So, if not the favorite.
I am really ambitious. I have lots of hopes and lots of dreams. Currently, I'm getting my bachelor's of fashion design, and I'd eventually like to get my master's in costume design. I'm trying to decide between going to Cal Arts and UCI. So one of my hopes for the future is getting my master's degree. And on top of that, I want to work in the fashion industry, but my passion is film costume design. So my goal in life before I die is I'm going to get an Oscar for Best Costume Design.